Zodiac Killer, Whispers from the Dark. Intro, a voice from the void. Smiley face, eerie wind, distant sirens, slow heartbeats. This is the Zodiac speaking. His voice was never truly heard. His face never truly seen. But his presence was everywhere. His every movement, his every letter, struck terror into the hearts of many. His victims, unsuspecting in the night, never knew what was coming. The Zodiac didn't just kill. He played. He toyed with his prey, and in doing so, became more than a killer. He became a ghost, a myth, an idea that haunted every shadow. And even now, years later, he remains an enigma. Tonight, we invite you into the depths. To experience the Zodiac as only those who live to tell his tale can. To walk in the shoes of those who stared into the eyes of evil and survived. For some, this will be a nightmare relived. For others, the start of a long, sleepless night. Chapter 1, The Lover's Lane Slaughter. Crickets chirping, soft music from a car radio, sudden silence. It was December 20th, 1968. Lake Herman Road, a secluded spot just outside of Vallejo, California. Teenagers David Faraday and Betty Lou Jensen were out for a night of stolen moments. The cold winter air outside contrasted with the warmth inside their car. Their laughter, the sound of young love, filled the air until that sound was abruptly shattered. Smiley face, footsteps on gravel, a gun cocking, silence, then sudden gunfire. 10 shots. The cold steel of the killer's weapon silenced their youthful joy. David fell, slumped inside the car, his life snuffed out in an instant. Betty Lou, in a desperate attempt to escape, was gunned down outside. Her body crumpled, lifeless, face down in the dirt. The killer didn't stop. He didn't take their possessions. There was no robbery. No motivation that made sense. Just blood. And a shadow that slipped away as quickly as it had come. But it wouldn't be the last time the Zodiac left his mark in this quiet town. Chapter 2, Independence Day Massacre. Fireworks echoing, fading into gunshots. The night of July 4th, 1969. A celebration of freedom, a night meant to bring joy. But for Darlene Ferrin and Michael Mageau, this would be the night they were thrust into the heart of terror. Vallejo once again became the hunting ground for the Zodiac. They parked near a quiet lover's lane, expecting nothing more than the safety of a peaceful evening. But the peaceful night was disturbed by headlights. The car that appeared to have vanished. But only for a moment. Then it returned. Car tires screeching, the sound of a flashlight clicking on. A man stepped out, his face shadowed, his movements deliberate. He had a flashlight in one hand. In the other, a gun. Without a word, he opened fire. The bullets pierced through the metal, the glass, the flesh. Darlene was the first to fall. A single, fatal shot to the chest. Michael, bleeding and barely conscious, could only watch. The pain was unbearable, but the fear was worse. He saw the killer's face, the silhouette in the light. But his vision blurred, and the figure disappeared as quickly as it had arrived. Then came the call. Phone ringing, a calm voice. I want to report a double murder. I also killed those kids last year. No fear. No panic. Just calm, chilling detachment. The Zodiac didn't just kill, he watched, he waited, and when the time was right, he acted. And as he left, he knew he was untouchable. Chapter 3, The Letters Bleed Ink in Death. Typewriter clacks, paper sliding, sinister whisper repeating, this is the Zodiac speaking. August 1st. 3 newspapers. 3 letters. 3 threats. Each letter was a work of art, a game. It wasn't just about the murder. It was about power. Control. The Zodiac wanted more than to kill. He wanted the world to know his name. I like killing people because it's so much fun. Who writes that? What kind of mind delights in such horror? The Zodiac reveled in his ability to manipulate, each letter, each cipher, a challenge to the public, to the police, and to anyone who dared to understand him. His letters weren't just taunts, they were puzzles. Codes. Riddles. The Zodiac saw himself as the ultimate predator, with the entire world as his hunting ground. Typewriter clacking fades out, eerie silence. And when the ciphers began, each one more complex than the last, the hunt became even more intense. It wasn't just about solving a murder. It was about entering the twisted mind of a killer who wanted to play with his prey before the final blow. His ciphers, made up of strange symbols, were his way of saying, "Catch me, if you can." Chapter 4, The Masked Hunter of Berryessa. Smiley face, lake waves, birdsong turning to wind, sudden distortion. September 27, 1969. Lake Berryessa. Brian Hartnell and Cecilia and Shepard, out for a relaxing day by the water, had no idea what was coming. The sky was clear, the water calm, but lurking in the trees, the Zodiac watched. A man emerged from the forest. He wore a black hood, a symbol of death. The Zodiac was always masked, never revealing his true identity. He approached Brian and Cecilia, brandishing a knife and a calm, robotic tone. Knife slashing, muffled screams. He tied them up, made them kneel, and then began his ritual. The Zodiac stabbed them again and again. Blood soaked the earth beneath them. Brian, struggling to breathe, thought it was the end. Cecilia, already too weak, could barely move. But the Zodiac wasn't finished. Before he left, he carved his symbol into their car. The bloodstains and the haunting message, by knife. Cecilia died. Brian lived, barely. His memory forever scarred, and his survival a fluke. The Zodiac didn't care. He had sent his message, loud and clear. Chapter 5, Blood in the City. City ambience, cab engine idling, sudden gunshot. October 11th, 1969. San Francisco. Paul Stein, a cab driver, picked up a fare. A regular evening. Nothing out of the ordinary. But fate, as always, had different plans. The sound of footsteps in the night, distant sirens. The passenger was calm. Too calm. They drove through the streets until, at Washington and Cherry, the calm was shattered by a gunshot. Stein fell, the blood spilling from his head. But the killer didn't run. He walked away, through the darkness, past children playing, past the unaware. He blended into the shadows, like a ghost. And then came another letter. A piece of Stein's bloody shirt enclosed. Proof, not just of his murder, but of the Zodiac's ability to elude capture. Chapter 6, Games Within No Rules. Smiley face, static, paper tearing, whispers repeating, "Catch me, if you can." The Zodiac didn't stop. He kept writing. The letters became more twisted. He threatened children on school buses, drawing diagrams of bombs. He taunted the police with ciphers, some of which would remain unsolved for decades. "I am not afraid of the gas chamber," he wrote, "because it will send me to paradise all the sooner." His arrogance was palpable. He believed himself invincible. With each letter, with each crime, he tightened his grip on the world. The fear he instilled was contagious, creeping into every corner of the public's consciousness. The Zodiac didn't just kill, he haunted. He was the embodiment of fear itself. Chapter 7, Suspects and Ghosts. Smiley face, police radio chatter, photo slides clicking. Arthur Lee Allen. Gary Francis Post. Dozens of suspects, but none of them fit. DNA was tested. Handwriting analyzed. Alibis checked. Yet the truth always seemed to slip through their fingers. Perhaps the Zodiac was one of these men. Or perhaps he was someone else entirely. Maybe the killer is long dead, buried, forgotten. Or maybe, just maybe, he's still out there, watching. Waiting. Chapter 8, The Curse of Zodiac. Smiley face, clock ticking, heartbeat growing louder. The Zodiac was more than just a killer. He was an idea. A curse. His legacy spread through books, films, and internet forums. His story became a part of the world's fabric. Every time someone whispered his name, every time someone tried to solve the puzzle, the curse of the Zodiac grew stronger. But what if the Zodiac wasn't just a man? What if he was something far more dangerous? A myth. A shadow. An idea that couldn't die because it wasn't real in the first place. Outro, the final whisper. Smiley face, typewriter ding, heartbeat slows, whisper fades in. This is the Zodiac speaking. His final words, perhaps. Or perhaps a clue. A promise that he would never stop, that he would never be caught. He said he would change his methods, evolve. And he did. But the true horror of the Zodiac Killer isn't in his crimes, it's in his absence. The fear he created. And the uncertainty he left in his wake. He may be dead. Or he may still be out there. Waiting. Listening. And if you hear footsteps behind you tonight, don't turn around. Because monsters don't die. They wait.